What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another predicted lineup video as we face Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 4:30 kickoff on Sunday in a very big game just before the break for the World Cup. Only 3 games left to go now. 2 Premier League games and then a Carabao Cup game, all in the space of the next week. But Antonio Conte has been doing in his press conference, and there's a bit of injury and team news. So what is that?
Yeah, so obviously Heung-min Son is having surgery on the fracture around his eye socket, so he's definitely unavailable for this game, and it remains to be seen how long he is going to be missing with that really bad injury. Romero remains out after he's suffering severe muscle fatigue, and he's at a big risk of injury at the moment. Conte said in his press conference, if Romero could play one leg, he would, but at the moment it's not possible. Richarlison remains injured. Lucas Moura as well is a major doubt after feeling a lot of pain in his thigh during training. But good news is that Bentancur is available after going off injured on Tuesday night, and Kulusevski has returned to training and has had half a training session today and probably is going to have a full training session tomorrow. So he is back and supposedly available for selection, so really good news.
Yeah, it's massive news, to be honest, really massive news. And it's also worth noting in his press conference on Lucas Moura, he did tell Lucas Moura to try and make himself available. So that's how much Conte needs his players for this weekend. But let's get into the predicted lineup. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation. In goal, obviously, Hugo Lloris. Another good display on the last game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought he played well, and he could be well in for a busy game this time, because despite Liverpool's poor form, a big theme of their defeats have been how good the opposition goalkeepers have been. So obviously gives us a massive, more of a chance to win if he can have a good game, given the fact that Liverpool have been conceding a lot of chances. So very important Lloris on top of his game in this one.
Yeah. So that's Lloris in goal. Right wing back situation, toss up between Doherty and Emerson, and we're just about siding with Emerson on this one, and he usually has a good game against Liverpool too.
First of all that, and also he had a brilliant half-time appearance against Marseille on Tuesday. You have to give him credit for that, and I think as well we're going to need his physicality against the Liverpool side, who are usually very intense, and especially out wide. That's where they like to use some of their main threats from wing-back. So I think that Emerson is going to have to be picked for this game, unfortunately. Well, but then again, he has had good games against Liverpool.
Yeah, he's had good games against Liverpool. He had a good cameo against Marseille in a big... The thing is with Emerson, right, he usually does turn up for the big games.
It's true. Man City as well, I remember he had a good game. So I guess hopefully he carries on that kind of form in the big games.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Emerson at right wing back. Right centre back, we're going to stick with Eric Dyer. I think he's done fairly well there since slotting in at the right side, so we're going to stick with him.
Yeah, unlike Romero, I don't think he gets forward in as much as someone like him. But with his distribution, I think it just allows us to keep having that ability to play out the back, even though obviously with his pace, you don't want him getting caught out by the likes of Nunez or Firmino or whoever's going to play in those forward positions for Liverpool. So you don't want him isolated, but I think that's probably I think given our injuries, I think that's the best solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when he can get forward, he's got a good delivery into the box as well, so it could be another tool in our armoury to hurt Liverpool.
Yeah, just the only problem is because of his pace, like Romero can get back in position fairly quickly. If Dyer gets caught out of position, we're done for.
Yeah, absolutely right. In that middle of the back three, we're going to stick with Clement Lenglet, who as well I think has had 2 positive displays there.
Yeah, and obviously got his first goal on Tuesday night, really important header. I think depending on how Liverpool structure their front line, if he's up against Nunez, I would worry about that because Nunez is very physical, and that seems to be something Lenglet might struggle against. But if it's Firmino as the furthest player forward, I think he can actually handle him, and I'll be pretty happy with that. So it'll be interesting to see how Liverpool go up front.
Yeah, I just hope that if it is Firmino, that he doesn't get caught in Firmino's traps, because Firmino loves to drop deep and bring others into play, and it could really spread our back three all over the place. So it's one to look out for, that's for sure. But that's Lenglet in the middle, and to finish off that back three on the left-hand side is obviously going to be Ben Davies.
Yeah, and he's going to have obviously Mo Salah most likely to deal with on that left-hand side, plus potentially a number 10, whether that would be Firmino. So I think he played well on Tuesday. and he's going to have to be very important in this game as well. And he's probably going to be the one centre-back maybe tasked with maybe getting forward a bit more than the others. So hopefully he can make a difference.
And then to make up that back five, we're going to put Ryan Sessegnon at left wing back. And he's still got Mo Salah in his pocket from last year.
Yeah, he had a brilliant performance and at Anfield. He got an assist at Anfield as well. Obviously, he had a really poor game on Tuesday, but maybe it was down to starting on the right-hand side that he definitely did not look as comfortable on that side than he does usually on the left. And I think in these kind of games with his physicality, he usually steps up for us. So I don't think Conte will have any worry about putting him in.
Yeah, so let's run through that back line with you guys one more time. So that's Hugo Lloris in goal. Right wing back Emerson Royale, left wing back Ryan Sessegnon, and a back three of Dyer, Longley, and Davis. In the midfield, we were sweating about Bentancur's fitness, but luckily he has been training, so we're going to slot him straight back in.
Yeah, and he had a lot to say about Bentancur in his press conference. First of all, that he had a full session in training, so it looks like he's available. And he was asked about how Bentancur's stepping up recently, and he said that Bentancur has been absolutely outstanding in the last few games, and he's really giving us a lot on the pitch. But he said something interesting. He was asked if he could be how close he is to being a real top midfielder, and he says Rodrigo only has one problem, in my opinion. He says he has the possibility to be a really top player, but you know that to become a top player that you need to will it, and you have to decide it. I think he means I'm not sure what he means by that, but maybe he means he needs to really push himself to become that top player. He said it's one thing to become from a normal medium midfielder to a good midfielder, but then there's a whole other thing to become from good to top, and that's where Rodrigo he wants to get him to. He says I really believe in Bentancur, and he says that's why I push him hard every single day to get better, because I believe he has the ability to be a top player. And I think we have seen big improvements in Bentancur even since he's come, and I think even last season he played was really good, but this season, especially of late, we're seeing a new level to him, and hopefully he carries on.
The thing is with his performances last year, yes, they were good, but it always kind of left us wanting more, because we saw like flashes of absolute brilliance in there from Bentancur, but never showed like brilliance on a constant basis. But in these last few games, you're really seeing him take it up another level, and you're seeing brilliance week in, week out from him at the moment. And there is still massive room for improvement, and for him to get so much better. And that's what's so exciting about him. Like, even when he was performing not at his greatest for us, which was last season, still good level of performance, but there's so many more levels for him to go up. The guy's attributes, what he has and what he can bring to the team is literally next level, and you're seeing that now the last few weeks of what he can actually bring to the team. He just needs to do this on a much more consistent basis throughout a whole season.
Yeah, if he can continue this level of performance throughout the whole season, I mean, there are very few centre mids in the league that will be as good as him.
Yeah. But let's move on to his midfield partner, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, another player who's been sensational this season. And their partnership in the middle is really flourishing now, isn't it?
Yeah, and they seem to really benefit from having each other there. It also seems as though when Bentancur or Højbjerg start without the other one, the performance level of the other one seems to decrease a bit, and when they come on together, it's usually better each other. And he was also talking about Højbjerg, saying that he's making really good progress, and if you compare him to last season to this season, big improvements from Højbjerg. And we've mentioned it so many times, but 8 goal contributions this season, 4 goals, 4 assists. I do believe if there's a midfielder who's going to get forward and maybe make a late run into the box and try and provide something there, Højbjerg will probably be that guy. And he's going to need a big performance, because Liverpool's midfield, albeit they haven't been the best this season, they've still got brilliant players like Fabinho and Thiago, and Harvey Elliott's coming on a lot this season as well. So they're going to have a big job on their hands, but I hope they're up to the challenge.
How good do you think Højbjerg can be? Do you think he can be like a title-winning central midfielder?
Yes, but he needs the players around him. Like he's not like Kevin De Bruyne, where even if De Bruyne played next to an average midfielder, he could still be the best player on the park. He needs players around him, Højbjerg, to help him. But for sure, if you have like a good team, like he would not look out of place in that team for sure. And I think you can win a title with Højbjerg in your midfield. I really do.
I agree. So that's a middle two of Bentancur and Højbjerg. The right-hand side, we're going to look at a return to Dejan Kulusevski.
Yeah, so he obviously had a half a training session on today, on Friday. We're hoping that maybe he'll have another training session tomorrow ahead of the game. Hopefully it'll be a full training session. And we heard as well that Kulusevski could have played potentially on Tuesday, but Conte didn't want to risk him with a view of having him play against Liverpool on Sunday. So that makes me feel like he is going to start. Their Spurs account are posting pictures of him in training. It's absolutely vital that he's back in the fold. It's so good to have someone like Kulusevski back, especially at a time where Son's just been ruled out probably until at least the World Cup, and maybe after, maybe a lot more after. So I'll welcome him back with open arms, and hopefully he comes back firing.
Yeah, let's hope so. So that's Kulusevski on the right. Up top, obviously going to be Harry Kane, the main man, the talisman. Hopefully he can get on the score sheet. And last but not least, on the left-hand side, we're going to go for Ivan Perisic. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, we're thinking that with Moura potentially injured, I think with Trent Alexander-Arnold tendency to go very far out the pitch on the right-hand side, I don't think we have a player in the squad with apart from Son, who's maybe best at maybe exploiting that kind of space, maybe left on the wing, either with his delivery or potential finishing ability. Obviously, we're going to need him from set pieces for sure. He's going to have to take the set pieces, so he has to be on the pitch there. And I think as well, when need be, which will probably be a lot, he's going to help out Sessegnon a lot with his defending with Salah and getting back in position. And obviously, playing wing back, he's very used to that, so he'll have no problem tracking back and getting in position. And I do think when it comes to running at players and maybe exploiting the space that Trent will leave, I can't think of a player better equipped in our squad without Son. So that's why we're going for Perisic on the left-hand side.
Do you still think, like with Perisic and Kulu there without Son, the threat in behind is still there?
Not as much, but it's a much more than if we were to go 3-5-2 with Kane and Moura, I think we would struggle. I really do. So I think with Perisic and Kulusevski there, I think first of all there's going to be a much better decision making in the final third, and I think there's going to be space for Perisic, but it's about if we can find him in the right positions. I do believe he can exploit it.
So like in a case of Perisic and Kulusevski, obviously both their deliveries is absolutely top notch, and they're like creative decisions and creating the space for us. So is that going to make sure Kane can't really drop too deep in this game and he has to shove up there like a classic number 9?
Yes and no. I think he'll have his moments to hold the ball up and link play and find the wing backs and things like that. But for sure, I think Conte is going to instruct him as much as he can get in the box, because the delivery will be there. And if he's there to finish it, then maybe we could have a lot more joy than expected.
All right, so let's run through that lineup with you guys one more time. It's Hugo Lloris in goal, a back three of Eric Dyer, Clement Longley and Ben Davis. Ryan Sessegnon on the left-hand side, Emerson Royale on the right-hand side, with Bentancur and Højbjerg providing that double pivot, with Ivan Perisic and Dejan Kulusevski supporting Harry Kane. What is your score prediction?
Well, I said 1-1. That was me thinking that Kulusevski was injured. He is back now, which is a big boost. Whether he's fully fit or not, I'm not 100% sure. I'll just stick with my prediction. I said 1-1. I'm going to stick with it. But hopefully Kulusevski comes back firing and I get proved wrong.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I'm going to stick with mine as well. I said 1-0 to Spurs. And I'm hoping, the back three can stand really strong, and the wing backs in Sessegnon and Emerson, who've had really good defensive performances against Liverpool in the past, can do their best to shut Liverpool out. And I suspect that we can get a goal from somewhere, whether it be a set piece or catching them off guard with Kulusevski and Perisic down the wings. I'm just going to go for 1-0, and hopefully we get those 3 points, because it'll be a massive 3 points. No two ways about that. It's a really big game, and if we can win, 13 points, we go above Liverpool, going into the World Cup,
is
pretty much with one Premier League game to go before the World Cup. So that would be a massive step in the right direction for us. So I'm going 1-0. My brother's going 1-1. Put in the comment section below your predicted scorelines, and also let us know what you think of our predicted lineup. And if you disagree, let me know your predicted lineup in the comment section below. Everyone scroll down, smash that subscriber button, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.